After nearly 20 years, Gisele Bündchen remains one of the world's most famous supermodels. At 35, she is releasing a limited edition book through the German publisher Taschen. The collection of photos of Gisele already sold out despite a $700 price tag. We spoke with her about her book, her family, and turning the page on modeling. Since 2002, you've been the most high-paid model in the world for a long time, 13 years. But there's a sense that it's a moment to refocus, to rethink who you are and where you're going.
Yes, for sure. I think, I'm so grateful to be where I am right now because I feel fulfilled. I feel like I've given a lot of energy and dedication and focus to that, and I think 20 years is like more than half my life doing that. I feel like is a long enough, and I feel like I still have some contracts and they're going to be still going forward. There's still some things I am going to be doing, but it's not my focus by any means anymore.
This is your life.
Wait, this is a chapter.
A chapter of your life.
Her new book, Gisele Bündchen, tells the story of Gisele the model.
How young were you then?
I was like 17.
It captures her transformation from a fresh-faced teenager.
Birkenstocks. As you can see, I had no idea of fashion and I really didn't care. I was just like, hey, I'm Gisele.
Into the world's greatest supermodel and more.
Oh, that's Vida.
Ah, there's your dog, your famous Vida. Is she no longer with us?
No.
When did she die? Several years ago.
Sorry. 2 years ago.
It is a personal photo album that's also a work of art.
This one was Matra Marcus, and
it features every great photographer in the industry.
This was Helmut Newton.
Fashion photographers have always loved her, but she says it has nothing to do with her looks.
Are you the best because of the look that you had?
Not
or
at all.
No.
I don't think so, not at all.
Is it because what?
I think because of my personality.
Do you really?
Yeah. I think I've never complained. I think
That's
if they say, Gisele, go there, it's below zero in a bathing suit and start jumping. And I'm like, that's what I do, Hey, Gisele, it's 100 degrees in the Death Valley. Go shoot
Because you want it so badly.
Because I wanted to do my best. If I choose to say yes to something, and if someone is putting their trust in me, I don't want to disappoint anybody. I'm just not that person. I think I'm a person who strives to be the best that I can be. I think if I'm going to clean my apartment, you're going to be able to eat on the floor. I mean, I'm that person, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do know what you're saying.
Whatever it is that I'm going to make the time to do it, I'm not going to be there if I can show up 100%.
She was only 14 when she was discovered in a shopping mall in Brazil. She was a tall, lanky tomboy who had no interest in fashion. But 5 years later, the Brazilian beauty was on the cover of American Vogue. The days of heroin chic were declared over. Curves were in.
You changed the face of modeling. It was no longer Moss, it became Bündchen.
I think I was at the right place at the right time. I think I was lucky.
Where the world was ready to switch to a different kind of look.
Yes, and then I was there.
And you were that look.
I was that look. I felt like I was at the right place at the right time with the right attitude. You have to remember, there was always a part of me who felt like the underdog, right? So I'm like, here I am, and people are giving me a chance.
Because as a kid, you were gawky and you were olive oil and you were all that.
And I think that sticks with you. There's a part of that no matter how, I'm telling you, there's a part of that stays with you.
It's not unusual.
No, it's not.
We carry what we learned in our childhood throughout our life.
Exactly.
Okay, but did you begin to think inside I'm pretty? Because there's some people who never believe they're pretty because growing up, they never thought they were pretty.
Maybe.
But you began to realize.
I began to realize that I had something that I could do with this. And I felt
there was some magic that happened between you and a camera.
Yes, I felt very comfortable with the camera. And I think the reason why I felt very comfortable is because I've always separated her, Gisele, this idea. The persona. Then Gisele, the goofball, me, tomboy. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the fashion wanted to, created this ideal of glamorous and sexy and all that stuff.
And you understood that, and you were willing to serve that thing.
Yes, I was.
And it served her well. She's graced more magazine covers than any other model ever. And she's earned more money than any of them, too. Her first big break came when Victoria's Secret offered her a $25 million contract. She was just 20 years old.
At that time, it was like, either you're a Vogue model or you're a catalog model. So it was a big decision, even though it was a lot of money, it was like, I remember talking with my agent. I remember she said, this is a decision you have to make because you might never do a Vogue cover again. So I was like, well, I can't, I have to take a chance of never doing fashion again because when am I going to make $25 million again? I got to take that chance.
Ever since, she's been navigating the world of celebrity, thanks in part to a relationship with a certain quarterback who would later become her husband and the father of her 2 children.
So when you met Tom Brady,
Yes.
then what did your instincts say?
I said he was, he's a very kind man.
You keep saying that.
Because he is.
Kindness was what?
He's kind. You know him.
Yes.
He's a good man.
But he had as much competition and competitive instinct as you did.
I
He was
think
every bit as competitive as you were. Was that part of the attraction?
I would say he's much more competitive than me. I would say I'm more a collaborative person because in my job, it's about collaboration.
Well, in his job too. What do you think those big linemen are up there?
I know, but he's
to
kind of the
protect him.
boss in some way, Yeah. Not in the boss, but he kind of has to dictate. He says, now guys, this is smack something, I don't know, some language, dot, I don't know what, bzz, some language.
Whatever he says.
Whatever he says, football language.
Then, so you're madly in love with Tom. You're sort of scampering up to Boston every time you can.
Yes.
And then you find out that his former girlfriend is pregnant.
It was a challenging thing because here I am, thinking I'm dating this guy, we met and we started dating and everything is great. And then this happens, right? So I felt like I didn't know what to do. It was kind of one of those moments of like, do I just run away or do I? And I think, now 8 years later, I couldn't have asked for a sweeter bonus child.
How tough was it when Tom had to go through what he just went through?
I think we've been through a few tough times together. I think that's when when, who are your friends and who loves you. I think my father always says the quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. And I think no matter how challenging it was, we've always been supportive of one another. And I think that's the most important thing you can have in life, a support system and love.
Here's what I think is interesting about you, among many things. One is your drive. 2 is a sense of looking for meaning. 3 is that you're at a place in which you don't quite know where the future is.
Yes.
That's rather exciting.
That's a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
It's scary a little bit, but
Exactly.
it's exciting because you have the opportunity, because when you have no definition exactly what it is,
it's better.
Everything is possible.
Exactly.
Miracles happen that way. The magic happens that way. And I worked very hard since I was 14 years old to be at today in my life at this place to make that choice,
Really nice interview. I mean, we've never heard from that in that sort of context before. Really nice.
She was very candid.
very candid
It's a
with you.
very interesting one.
Yeah.
An unlimited popular edition of the book will be released next spring.
There's lots more of this interview. I know you're going to have it on your PBS show,
Yes,
right?
indeed.
And also, Charlie asked Bündchen about the paparazzi, and we'll post that portion of their conversation at cbsthismorning.com.
I like what she said, that her dad said the quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. That is so true.
Very nice.
Go Gisele. What does she want to do next? Whatever she want to do. Go Gisele.
She doesn't want to act. I asked her whether she'd like to be an actress. She said no.
To be continued.
She's doing just fine what she's doing right now.
Her next
Doing just
chapter is
fine.
going to be okay.